Africa has many countries, I've heard.
Yes, it does. I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles.
What's it like in Africa?
The sun is always shining, and miracles happen every day. It's a land of great deserts, fig trees, and creatures that an Englishman can't even dream up.
Like these horses. Are they horses?
They are not. To you, they might resemble horses, but the name the Africans have for these creatures is impossible to pronounce, even for me.
Wait, those are supposed to be camels.
Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me.
You mentioned there were fig trees in Africa. What are they?
It's a fruit, of course. It looks like a strawberry and tastes like a pear.
The scripture mentions these figs, and they sound nothing like that. Why is that?
No two apples look or taste alike. The same goes for figs, and doubly so.
I'm getting the impression that this man has never even been to Africa. But why would he lie?
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter?
Alright, what do we have? Explore
This
your...
time, it was
Maybe I
the
should look
Madonna
around.
herself who answered my
Donations.
questions.
People donated for this?
She
How much
said,
would... How would they have known about us? What's going on
You
here?
shall build me a new church in
Shrine. Is he
Kingsbridge.
traveling shrine? Part looks like
So we
reliquaries.
set off.
Jongleurs. There's something odd about them. Not very Christian. More like entertainers.
And along the
Palm
road
breeches.
from
Reserved for
Paris
Palm, Sunday,
across
and
Normandy,
Saints. Symbolizes victory of
over the
spirit over
sea,
flesh.
and all the way to Kingsbridge.
And the faithful over the non-believers. Jongleurs.
Devout
There's something odd about them.
Christians have given money for the building of the Church of the This church. Oh,
Strange animals. Strange animals. 2 bumps on their back. Camels? Question mark.
the weeping Madonna
Juggler.
has
Peacock
chosen
feathers.
you.
Are there peacocks in Africa?
All of you.
Martha. Seems optimistic, curious as ever.
I will
Usually
see you
not the
again,
naive type.
dear brothers and sisters.
Audience. Hope in their eyes. Already won over. Might be dangerous. Into the cathedral. Not now.
All of you.
Mary. Poor Mary. Hasn't spoken in years, ever since she widowed.
You must wonder why
Remigius. Doesn't trust this either. Always opposed to the new. And everything I say. Jonathan. Such a trusting boy. Maybe too much for his own good.
you shall build me
Easy to win
a
over.
new
Audience. Hope in their eyes. Already won over. Foreign monks. Never seen them before. Familiar garbs. Must be part of the procession.
I could have continued to carry her from
Examine the front of the cart. Examine the back of the cart. Strange animals. Door to the cloister. Kitchen door. Now is not the time. Nobody inside. Let's examine the strange animal.
They look almost like horses.
This time, it was the Madonna
Hollow.
herself who
Feels like a
answered my
wicker
questions.
basket covered in
I
pelt.
could have continued to carry her from town to town until my flesh succumbed. But this...
I saw you there.
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter?
Side. Wood. Looks old and shaded. Invisible from the front. Cover. Tapestry hides white cover. Very simple cloth.
Why was Kingsbridge chosen to
Little
be
boy.
home of the
What's he
Bible
doing
Belt?
there? I don't know him. Somehow seems familiar.
She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald
Don't you
of
want to see the
Canterbury.
miracle too?
Now, brothers and sisters, I have heard
Why are you hiding?
that life has not been kind to Kingsbridge, but it is in places like these, and in dark
That's not fit for a shrine.
times like these.
Old rags, very unlike the front.
Shines
Nothing
bright.
sacred about this.
And along the road, from Paris, across Normandy, over the sea, and devout Christians have given money for the build. Can you feel it? Brothers and sisters, you are about to witness a miracle. The Madonna knows how you have suffered. The Virgin Mother had to witness the rise and fall of her Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, and never stopped believing. Kingsbridge has endured many hardships. Prior James left you before his time when you needed him the most. Your old cathedral was burned to the ground.
How do you know this?
And your new one collapsed even before construction was finished. You have suffered the ruthless destruction of your market, homes, and lives.
Dada!
All of you have lost husbands, wives, and children, family and friends.
Dada!
All of you know how it is to be hungry and afraid.
Jack. Aliena.
Philip.
But this is...
A miracle, isn't it? Or something along those lines.
But how?
We thought it was time to give Tommy a home.
The boy? Your boy?
Well, Philip? Do you recognize him? Our little Tommy?
Tommy? But... Just what are you doing here with these people? Do you think I wouldn't notice it's all artifice? Your camels are horses. Your shrine is an old cart with decorations. And Reynold is just a dubious man speaking nothing but lies.
The camels were a bit much, weren't they?
With the Madonna, we were able to collect donations for your priory and for Kingsbridge.
Really?
We can start anew. We can rebuild the cathedral.
What's the catch?
I'll get to be master builder.
Why?
I've studied the cathedrals, churches, and houses they build in France and Spain. I saw how different their constructions were, with new shapes, colors, and ideas. Oh, you should have seen it. They combined rib vaulting and pointed arches. I want to do that. That's why.
Why here?
Because this is home.
The townspeople probably think that's enough to build a whole cathedral. But to me, it looks like about £100. You know, that won't even pay for a year's work.
Like all of this, it's a symbol. Enough for a fresh start.
And the Madonna will stay here. Kingsbridge will attract visitors and donations again.
You mean I should be thankful for these lies and tricks?
Jack! Aliena! You came back!
We wanted to see you, little sister.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. But look at you! And the little one!
Tommy.
How are the others?
Alfred left Kingsbridge. Richard shows up every now and then, and Ellen returned to the forest.
We need to visit her.
What's wrong, Mother?
I'm glad you're back.
I am too. Very glad.
She looks like she's about to cry.
She will weep for your suffering, Kingsbridge. She knows your pain.
What now?
The miracle!
Her eyes are wet. Look at her.
They're shining!
She cannot hold her tears any longer.
She is made of wood. It's impossible.
Why are you weeping? She is mute ever since her husband died.
The Madonna has suffered as I have. She understands.
It seems through her faith in all of your lies, Mary has found a miracle. We can't keep trying to repair Kingsbridge by ourselves. Things are not improving. We're struggling to keep things as they are.
But we can't afford to hire help.
Without farming and fairs, we're back to Prior James's time.
All these past years, my advice was good enough for you. But it appears you've changed your mind now, again.
It is time we started doing something to wake up and make Kingsbridge what it used to be. We did before, and we can do it again.
I'm not willing to accept a risk like that. Don't you remember what happened last time? My, how easily we forget.
I remember well.
And still, you put your trust into a group of random strangers to make things better. Philip, why in God's name have you stood by and let this happen? They're tricking us into giving them money for false idols.
They are giving us money.
So that we'll place this idol in our priory? Do you approve of this?
No, I don't approve of their deception. The Madonna is a trick, no miracle. But the people have already decided, and I won't take away the hope they found. Did you not see what happened to Mary?
I saw. And I see that you intentionally turn a blind eye to the lies of your friends. I'm warning you. I cannot support a prior who tolerates heresy.
Your threat won't sway me. No matter how unconventional, their return and their gift are a blessing.
You made your decision, Philip of Gwynedd. And now, I make mine.
Holy shit, he looks crazy.
I'm leaving the priory.
I mean, our characters don't know this, but we did see he was kind of in league with
You got so big, Tommy. And you're just as shy as your father was.
Don't let him fool you. Usually, he's always up to something.
Tom would have been proud of you. Of both of you.
Is she still here?
Hmm?
Tom's wife.
Oh, no. Martha and I moved her to Kingsbridge. She's with Tom now. He always wanted that.
Ellen, we found Jack's family in Cherbourg.
The place he came from wasn't Cherbourg, it was Cherbourg.
But... really? What were they like?
They were good people.
His grandmother said Jack looked just like him, like his father.
He does. But they never came for him or asked about him.
They thought he was dead. His ship sunk. He'd always wanted to go to England.
Have you ever heard of the White Ship?
No.
The king's family drowned.
My father was there. He was the only one who survived.
Not for long.
You told me that he was accused of stealing a chalice.
Yes. But I know he was innocent. I heard the story and had to find out what he looked like. He told me his name. I fell in love. I helped him escape. But in the end, they caught up with us.
What happened then?
They hanged him. I was there. And you were there, Jack. But you weren't born yet. he was led to the gallows. Everyone was quiet. The people somehow knew he was not a thief. But I knew for sure. He told me. He was so afraid. He didn't want to die. I didn't want him to die. And I prayed. Then I heard his voice, quiet.
Sang sweeter than ever, as if the falling melody might wing and net dissever. At dusk the hunter took his prey, the lark his freedom never.
No! No!
You said that 3 men were responsible for Father's death.
Who were they?
The Sheriff of Shiring, Percy Hamley, Prior James of Kingsbridge, and Archdeacon Waileran Bygod. They showed no mercy. Neither did I. I curse you! All of you! He will return to haunt you! One day, you will be judged for what you did. Your houses shall be consumed by fire. Your life shall end in pain and agony. You shall grow old in sadness and regret. The people they killed will return to haunt them. I promised them.
We welcome our new Prior Remigius. He helped to recover the bones of the Saint of Kingsbridge, Adolphus, from the hands of thieves. Adolphus already rests safely in this great cathedral of Shiring. Our master builder Alfred promised me that it will only be a matter of a few years until the cathedral will be finished. And the Earl of Shiring has promised to support us. But he has not done so for himself. No, the Earl is not a selfish man. His mother, Lady Hamley, is sick. More and more, I feel the whole of England is suffering from a sickness. The sickness of war, poverty, and most of all, heathen beliefs. I have spoken to God. I asked him, begged him to walk amongst us, to heal us. But God told me that only when this great cathedral is finished will he have a temple to reside in. No matter the cost, this shall be a towering castle to protect us from evil and false beliefs. With this cathedral, we will bring an end to the dark times.
Waileran Bygod.
Jack, what are you doing here?
My father died by your hands, Waileran. His name was Jacques Cherbourg.
How dare you talk to the bishop like that?
He died right here.
Who are you?
I know that man. He's that bastard from Kingsbridge.
That man is my husband.
You?
All of you, listen to what we have to say. From now on, Kingsbridge is protected.
By our knights, by our walls, and by the word of the king.
So whatever you do, we will defend our town, our market and fulling mills.
And our cathedral, which we shall rebuild. All workers are invited to come and work for us.
Preposterous.
If you so much as try to bring harm to us, Bishop, We will make sure that you pay for everything you did.
I don't know if it's a good idea to kick the hornet's nest like that. Pillars of the Earth, Eye of the Storm, Chapter 16, Home. You helped Jonathan plant a new tree. You've held your first sermon in a long time. You disapproved the deception of the Madonna, but you came to see that it gave people hope. Ileana and Jack have returned to Kingsbridge.
It had been 3 years. 3 years of drought. 3 years of hunger and poverty. England was brought to its knees. Only our walls had kept us safe from the bands of outlaws raiding towns and villages.
Border's always a good
Bishop
idea.
Waleran and William Hamley forced the workers to finish their cathedral in Shiring. Many had died. The work on our own cathedral had almost come to a halt. 4 weeks the storm had raged on. It was then that our cathedral gave up its last secret.
I was thinking when that breadcrumb would pay off.
And everything changed.
Tom, I don't think you would have liked the sight of this. I don't think you would have liked the sight of this at all. I know. You did not plan the cathedral to be that high. I reinforced the walls, like in Saint Denis. The storm shouldn't be that much of a problem. But if it's not the storm, then what is it?
The east wall is about to collapse, but what could be the cause? Tools, hammer and chisel. Storm. Been weeks now, the noise and sand never stop. I hope Ileana is alright.
One day, people will fly, like birds, sailing on the wind. Rashid told me.
The wall. No telling how long it will hold. Doesn't look that bad from up here. Huge cracks all the way down.
No. I don't want to break more stones loose.
Vaulting. Small crack. Vaulting unstable. Is this damaging the wall? Wooden beams. They look alright. North and south walls provide enough stability. Thank God. Right. We're playing to try and figure out what's wrong with the wall. I think we examined everything. Let's leave the roof.
I'm not done here yet.
No.
The roof looks all right. The vaulting is cracked. This could be a problem. I'm not done here yet.
Okay, so we need to actually do something here. Maybe chisel the vaulting?
If I make it worse, then we'll at least know what the problem is. All right. One more time. If the vaulting were unstable, this part would have collapsed and the wall would retract. The cause of the problem is not up here. Tom. What would you have done now? When we erected the eastern wall 17 years ago, there was also a crack. Yes. No matter what we did, it always came back. This is not the same wall. We rebuilt it. But the cause could have been the same in both cases.
It's probably gonna have to do with that little thing in the crypt where the rat escaped into a while back.
The crypt? How? Yes, Tom. You kept the whole foundation there as it was. But it never had to carry this much weight before. That's it. The problem must be down there.
They were enraged. Bishop Henry thinks that the Pope should hear about what you wrote.
I think so, too. I would be honored if he read my book.
Philip, I really am worried about you.
There is no need for you to worry, Jonathan. It is just a book.
The problem is that the people love your sermons and what you wrote, even though most of them can't read. Your book is being copied in priories all over England.
Is that not a good thing, if our message gives people hope?
In desperate times, hope can be a powerful force.
That is very true.
Well, I fear the bishops. They might come to believe you took that power from them.
Ah, do you?
Philip's second book, The Divine Soul. Inspect. The Divine Soul, written by Philip in 1148. In his text, Philip suggests that we all carry a godly spark within us because God created man. And while sometimes it may seem as if God has abandoned us, God is indeed always closer to us than anything else, because our soul is of a divine nature. This means that man does not have to wait for salvation from outside, but that we all can change the world around us ourselves. We can plant a seed and God will, in turn, will make it grow. Philip's message of hope is heard in all of England and even other parts of Europe, but the Church is highly critical of the text. In his first book, Philip had already criticized fake miracles. Now he seems to claim that all men are equally divine. Members of the clergy are not closer to God's glory than any other man. A 3. Jonathan's tree, still braving the storm, steadfast. Philip, the people love his sermons. His book was written from the heart. He found his truth. Jonathan will be sub-prior soon. Still does not know who his father is. Well, Tom can't tell him.
Jack!
Have you been atop the cathedral during the storm?
Don't worry, Philip. The storm isn't as bad up there.
You shouldn't be up there risking your life. You should be with your children. Sally and Tommy have been asking for their parents all morning.